Mary, are you here? Mary, I have questions for you. It's been I don't know, 2 months since we've talked, and I guess I want to ask, how are you doing, or how is everything in the fifth dimension? Is that an H? H? A? P? P? I? K? Or is that an L? I put K, but L is in between now. Y? C? O? N? T? E? N? Is that an S? Okay, I'll say S. Now you're going to T. Contensed. Mary, I got happily contensed, but I'm pretty sure you said happily content. Um, K is next to the L and S is next to the T. Um, did you mean happily content? Yes. Okay. Well, it's interesting. That's cool that you're happily content. Usually you say stuff like "it is well," and so it's nice to get a different kind of message when I ask you that question. Um, the last time I talked with you, I also talked to a fourth dimensional person, and they used the word content as well. When I asked them how they were doing, is it like is like contentness like in a ubiquitous thing in the fourth and fifth dimension? Yes. Okay. Yeah, it seems like it is because everything's about being content. Whenever I ask, you've said it many times before, and then the fourth dimension person said it too. Um, okay, so I have some questions, Mary. Here's my first question. I have them written down, so as I read them, I have to go back in my memory to remember how I was feeling when I wrote them out. So the first question is, will meditation and going into a trance state make it easier for me to get in contact with higher vibrational spirits? And the reason why I ask that is because I've been trying to, on the Ouija board before the last session, um, I tried contacting spirits. I did get a hold of a fourth dimensional one, but like third dimensional ones were coming, and I was wondering if there was something I could do to make it easier for me to talk with other fifth dimensional um, spirits like yourself. So that's my question. Will meditation and going into trance state make it easier for me to get in contact with high vibrational spirits? No. What is it that will help me get in contact with higher vibrational spirits? See? I A N C E. You wrote CIANCE. Did you mean seance? No. Okay. Um. What I don't know. I didn't get that message. CIANCE. What did you mean to write out? C A H A. Got it. And C E. So it's just chance. So are you saying that it's just happenstance that I would get in contact with a higher vibrational spirit? Yes. Okay. Um. Here's my next question. Do you in the fifth dimension literally vibrate at a higher vibration than the fourth dimensional and third dimensional people? Are you literally vibrating like higher? Yes. Can you quantify how much you vibrate faster than someone like myself? Is that quantifiable? Now, I T V A R I E S. It varies. Is it more normal for fifth dimensional people to vibrate higher than a fourth dimension and a third dimensional person? Is it like a different level of vibration that happens to be faster just to be a fifth dimensional person? Yes. Mary, here's my next question. Were you initially my guide to find me Leslie, or was it more of an all purpose kind of thing? A L L all. So you mean in all, it was more of an all purpose thing. Is that what you were saying? You just say all for short. Yes. Has your role as my guide, has that changed over the years? Yes. In what way has it changed over the years? I N O. Was that an O? So quick. W S P E A K W I T H. Y. Is that a P or a no? I think you're saying U. I mean U. F O R T H E T T I M E B E I N G. So you said, yes, I now speak with you for the time being. Do you still think that there's going to be a time where you don't talk to me anymore on the Ouija board? Is it a temporary thing? I D O N T K N O W. Okay. Well, I hope that we talk like for the rest of my life because it's kind of interesting. Um, I believe I asked you this question that I'm going to ask you now. I believe I asked you this before, but I couldn't find in my records, so I wanted to ask again. Can leaders see both my flesh and my soul threads? Yes. I thought that that was the case. Mary, have you ever heard of the six lokas? Like like more than what I know. I know you can like sort of read. You know what's in my brain, but like, have you ever looked up the six lokas in a library or learned about it at any other time? No. The six lokas are it's a Tibetan thing, and they use them in conjunction with the chakras, and I think they're like the six different planes of existence. And you can go to a library and look that up if you're interested. I don't know that much. Here's the next question. The next question that I'm very curious about. I've been meaning to ask you for a long time, and I keep forgetting, but I remembered to write it down. Floating cities. I heard once that an African village, they I think it was a Christian village too. They were farming or doing whatever they did in the village, and then they looked up and there was a city floating by, and it floated by, and they all saw it, and that's and so I'm wondering if floating cities are real. Are floating cities real? Yeah, I'll put your hands on it. Are floating cities real? Yes. I N 5D. Okay. Well, so in 5D, there are floating cities, but in the third dimension, there are no floating cities. Is that true? In 4D, is there floating cities? Yes. And again, there are. It is true that there are no floating cities in the third dimension. Yes. Very interesting. Mary, I saw someone on the internet. I don't really know if you know what the internet is. It's something where you can look up and watch videos, and you can connect with people here in the third dimension. And I use the internet a lot. And I saw a video where someone who's a medium, I think you know what a medium is. A medium, someone who talks to spirits and connects to the spirit world, he was purging out all of these precious stones out of his eyes and out of his nose. And is that a thing? Can people really connect with, I don't know what, the ether and the spirit world, and then the stones, precious stones, will form in their eyes and orifices, and then they can purge them out? Is that real? No. Well, that helps me. Thank you for answering that. I know a lot of the questions, when I ask you that, it's like kind of a loaded question, and you don't want to answer it because I might know someone that claims to do it. But so thank you for giving me that answer. That really helps because I didn't know what to think when I saw the mediums, and I like hearing your perspective because you're not the end all be all, so they could still be real. But I really like having your perspective. It helps me. Okay. Let me think of the next question. Mary, is there a relationship between being good and vibrating faster? So, like, good and nice entities, do they vibrate faster and higher than a bad, mean entity or spirit? Yes. So, are there bad entities that vibrate faster than me? S O M E. Mary, I wanted to ask you about so you said some. I wanted to ask you about like thought forms. Like can people think like thoughts and then they become um like like real? Like say a bunch of people like prayed about a god that never existed, but then they all believed in it, so they all prayed to it. Could that thought form sort of then become real? No. And then N O T O O N S. U. Is that a C or a D? C. H. A. T. C. A. L. F. No, E. Was the first word you said not? What was the second word you spelled out? I didn't get that. O. N. Not on. Such. Not on such. Okay. Did you say not on such a scale? So, you mean that they would never become real like I'm real? Even my soul. Is that what you mean? No. T. H. E. T. H. E. N. O. M. I. A. N. O. N. Okay. D. O. E. S. N. O. T. O. C. C. R. R. O. N. Is that a T? H. B. U. S. A. L. E. No, the phenomenon. Did you say the phenomenon does not I'm so sorry. I ran out of room on my paper. Mary, what did you say after does not? Could you finish the message after does not? It started with an O, I believe. O. C. C. O. U. R. O. N. T. H. A. T. S. C. A. Is that a K or an L? It was in between. L-E. No, the phenomenon does not occur on that scale. Is that what you said? can't. So, but it does become real, just not on like me and you and people, individuals. They don't. So can the thing end up thinking on its own? Does it get consciousness? Maybe not on my scale or your scale, but does the thing get its own consciousness? Yes. So thought forms do become real, but just they could never be as real as me. Is that true? Yes. Okay. Mary, here's my next question. Do wisps, remember we talked about wisps? Do they go to the fourth dimension? Wisps? Yes. Do wisps go to the fifth dimension? No. Why don't wisps and Anshar also? They don't go to the fifth dimension. Why don't these individuals go to the fifth dimension? I C A N T K N O W. So you just can't know. You don't know. Are wisps, are they humanoid? Wisps? Yes. Oh, you said yes and no. Did you mean to say both yes and no? Yes. I believe I asked you this before, and the answer was no. But I'm going to ask you again just to make sure. Are there any Anshar in all of the third dimension? Is there any Anshar? No. I thought that was the answer. Mary, in what way are wisps humanoid? And in what way are they not humanoid? I want to understand that answer. T H O U G H T. Is that a B? B U T N O T F O S. Is that an R? R N. You said thoughts but not form. They're humanoid in their thoughts. They think like a human, but they don't actually, they're not physically or spiritually, whatever they are, they're not human that way. Is that true? Yes. Are they physical here in the third dimension? T O S O M E T I D I Y A P P E A R. To some, what was that word? Tidy? T-I-D-E-Y, appear? What was the T-I-D-E-Y word? T-H-E-Y. To some they appear. So they can appear humanoid to some people who see the wisps. Is that what you're saying? But are they really physical, or is that just an appearance? Yes. R E. Is that an A? A L. Real. So they're real physical things. Okay, well, I'm going to turn this off. I was recording this. It's good for my notes to record, and some people like to see. And then I'm going to talk a little bit more about personal stuff.